Eastern Security Network, ESN, Formidable, and doing the job dedicated to them, Ipob, the noble and great family of the indigenous people of Biafra Ipob, led by the prophet of our time. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wished to notify Biafrans, friends of Biafra and lovers of Biafra freedom, that ESN formed and established by our indomitable leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are on top of the job for which our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu established them. That job is the defense of the length and breadth of Biafra land from the ravages of killer herdsmen from the Sahel. For it has come to our notice that some faceless individuals, perhaps propelled by hunger and deprivation, and under the pay of some inconsequential political entities in Nigeria, appear to be busy on social media trying very hard to mislead the public into blaming ESN for the government-sponsored insecurity bedeviling the southeast. Their pathetic attempt to change the narrative about the nobility of our movement and the vision of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in establishing ESN is bound to fail as other previous attempts did. These cowardly and shameless individuals, operating under the cloak of anonymity afforded them by use of fake accounts, were nowhere to be found when killer Fulani herdsmen from all over the Sahel region were marauding through our farmlands, forests and villages in Biafra land, pillaging, looting, raping and slaughtering our men, women and children. The situation became so deplorable that some Igbo governors that summoned the courage to call 82 Division of the Nigerian Army at Enugu, and later the presidency found to their shock that their calls were ignored. Reduced to issuing watery, inconsequential and ineffectual press statements, they resorted to begging the federal government of Nigeria, through newspaper publications, to intervene and reaccue them. At a point our mothers stopped going to the farm. Fear and terror gripped our land. None of these quislings ranting online raised a voice of condemnation at the despicable cowardice of the so-called political class in the East, in the face of this mass slaughter of their people. We all recall instances of wholesale massacres and bloodbath in Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra, Abia, Imo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Benue, and Imo. How can any sane Igbo person forget Nimbo and Uzo Uwani? Or have we all forgotten that these sustained slaughter of the innocent by Fulani herdsmen was the sole reason why our leader formed the Formidable Eastern Security Network, ASN? The sole purpose for the existence of ESN is to checkmate the excesses of these killer from the Sahel and to ensure that no inch of the land of the ancients Igbo land is forcibly taken over and occupied by killers disguised as herdsmen. Ipob will never condone the mistakes made by other ethnic groups that allowed their ancestral lands to be forcibly seized and converted to a mini-caliphate, to be visited on Igbo people or replicated anywhere in Igbo land, or across the entirety of Biafra land for that matter. Not many people in Nigeria today know that a sizable chunk of Yoruba land, Oyo State in particular, is under forcible occupation by these killer herdsmen from the north. This was what some Yoruba agitators were fighting against, or have we all forgotten? Today, no Yorubaman would dare enter a forest renamed Gambari in Oyo State that is the heart of the Yoruba race. Is Gambari a Yoruba name? Tiv people of Benue today have forfeited their ancestral land, which has long been renamed Katsina Ala, meaning a mini Katsina in another person's land. The last time we checked, Gambari as a name is not an indigenous Yoruba name, neither is Katsina Ala a name anyone can associate with native Tivi people. Every well-meaning Easterner should be grateful to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and ESN for blunting and putting a permanent stop to the relentless advance of killer herdsmen from the Sahel who are hell-bent on conquering indigenous populations all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. Like the Yoruba Amotekun formed to give legitimacy to the quest to eradicate killer herdsmen from Yoruba farms and forests, ESN is here to protect the people, nothing more, nothing less. If other Nigerians are comfortable with killer herdsmen taking over their forests and farmlands and slaughter their people at will, that is their prerogative. Such state of affairs will never replicate it in Biafra land. As long as Ipob exists, Fulani herdsmen will never take over any inch of territory in Biafra land. If you want ESN disbanded, as some of these badly informed and misguided online urchins are demanding, They should pressure the federal government to first disband hordes of killer herdsmen invading our forests. Mieti Allah, that is their public face, must be banned and open grazing abolished. So long as these entities are in existence, ESN shall continue in their duty to defend Biafra land. Those mischievously linking ESN and extension Ipob to ongoing insecurity in Igbo land are not only misguided, but are jokers. These attention seekers know the politicians sponsoring the destruction of Igbo land in exchange for enlarged security budget, with which they hope to contest for vice presidential slot come the next election in 2027, if President Tinubu decides not to run. Cheap playground bully tactics and empty propaganda against Ipob never worked in the past, and it will not work now. People should instead be grateful to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Ipob for saving the entire Middle Belt, Oduduwa and Biafra land from the devastating effect of Ruga. If not for Ipob, everybody would be living under Ruga today. ESN deserve praise. In the same measure, those bringing mayhem to the southeast should be dealt with without pity. Following the incessant influx and rampaging of Biafra land by land-grabbing Fulani herdsmen terrorists from northern region of Nigeria with their wanton massacres of innocent, defenseless villagers, mostly farmers in their farmlands, a need for a security solution to immediately arrest these terrorists became imminent. However, with the failure of Southeast governors to create a security outfit charged with safeguarding the region from these herdsmen terrorist activities, a great void was left unfilled. To fill in the gap, the indigenous people of Biafra Ipob, led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in his magnanimity and love for the well-being of his people, created and launched the People's Vigilante Group, Eastern Security Network, ESN, charged with flushing out Fulani herdsmen terrorists from the bushes of Southeast and beyond. Eastern Security Network, ESN, is the most elite defense organization set up by the indigenous people of Biafra, inspired by a vision born of courage and resilience in the self-determination for their people to be able to protect themselves. Modeled after commitment and dedication akin to that of the State of Israel's IDF, so too has the ESN grown into a formidable force. It works day and night to protect the Biafran territories from the relentless onslaught of Fulani insecurity. These are the defenders who actually train strenuously and whose determination remains unwavering to make sure that the infiltration of the killer herdsmen from the Sahel region into their homeland is brought to a complete stop. These incursions have brought destruction, terror, and loss of life in this region. Led under the visionary leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the formation of ESN was in response to the growing crisis in the southeast. With the people's grievances seemingly overwhelmed or indifferent to the local and federal authorities, it became apparent that ESN emerged as an agency of hope, which is dedicated to making sure that Biafra land would never fall victim to such unbridled violence. They stand at the forefront, protecting the Biafran forests, farms, and villages with a level of loyalty, discipline, and bravery rivaling the commitment evident in established military forces around the world. The training given to members of the ESN emphasizes not only physical preparedness, but also an understanding of the importance of the mission. They are truly disciplined, trained in survival tactics, and tactically articulate in defending the people with precision and responsibility. That commitment has ensured that villages across Biafra land can live without fear of occupation or violence from Fulani foot soldiers tagged herdsmen. The training and commitments to the organized and focused defense in Israel's Ipob are notorious for tireless drives to defend against all forms of external aggression to their soil and people. Lately, there has been criticisms against ESN. These critics are usually peddled by faceless online agitators or political puppets. They had thrown up ill-informed and false accusations in attempts to make the group appear villainous for the insecurity occurring in the southeast. These are critics who, in most instances, are never credible people but take advantage of anonymity on the internet to sow doubts and misunderstandings in the minds of the people. The baseless attack from the aforementioned kinds of people simply showed how desperate and loyal they are to the political powers that be, who are more bent on undermining the autonomy and safety of Biafra land than any purported care for peace or security. These critics, many of whom are described as jobless, hunger-striking political bootlickers, trying to be on good books with the Nigerian government, have not done anything to alleviate the real problems besetting the southeast region. What they always do is to shift the blame from where it should be, then politicize insecurity for their political paymasters' recognition. Such are the people who, in the safety of their screens, shamelessly propagate propaganda against Ipob and ESN as a way of satisfying their political paymasters. In their bids to discredit the efficient ESN operatives, they try to cover up their failures and their allegiance to a government that does not care nor protect the people as it should be. By all this knowledge, the resolve of the efficient ESN is not shaken, as they know that the people are behind them in support. They protect Biafraland with full consciousness. Just as the mission demands, its existence is not just a deterrent, but a necessary force to bring peace and security back to the region. In a recent press statement, Comrade Emma Powerful, Ipob Media and Publicity Secretary, has said that without ESN, Biafraland would have fallen under hostile settlements of Ruga and possible hostile territorial occupation by foreign elements. What the Biafrans, and those across the Middle Belt and Oduduwa lands, see ESN doing is a saving factor against an impending general crisis. While those who criticize from the comfort of their closets, ESN members are in the field, facing dangers daily in defense of the integrity of Biafraland. Any person that is genuinely interested in disputing the legitimacy of ESN should make the legitimate demand that the Nigerian government must rise to its responsibilities now and immediately. To deal with the causes that have led to this insecurity, it must dissolve the killer herdsmen groups operating with reckless impunity. It must end terror in Igbo land, and it must ensure the protection of all citizens in a non-selective and non-negligent manner. One should remember that as long as these Fulani land-grabbing threats exist, there also exists the responsibility of ESN to defend Biafraland. This is a mission which they undertake with pride, acting as watchmen for a world that has all too frequently turned a blind eye. To diminish their efforts is to demean the hope and preservation of an entire nation. The presence of ESN and its actions are but one thing: to defend freedom, dignity, and the future of Biafraland. Stay tuned for more updates. Forever Arctic Sea features a blend of oils to provide you with a perfectly balanced omega-3 supplement. Fish, calamari, and high oleic olive oil support key areas of your body, including cardiovascular, digestive, immune, brain, and eye health. It helps to promote memory and healthy brain function, helps promote healthy circulatory functions, promote healthy digestive system, helps to promote strong joints, helps promote healthy cardiovascular system. It helps to reduce cholesterol levels. Get yours now. Call or WhatsApp 2349-02663457 or 234-8003-957767 for more information. If you are good in networking, this could be a good opportunity for you to make some good passive income while helping to save and improve people's life and health. See you on the other side.